Economics class. We're heading into week 6. After that, the last week, week 7, and I've kind of got it all lined up here. So I'm going to give you 2 weeks of announcements in one. First of all, there's a Hawks Learning Support Center. I probably should have sent that out earlier. They have live chat 24/7 and call-in help from 8 to 10 Eastern Time, which I guess is 7 to 9 our time. And here's the link you can take to get there. If you have any issues or being told that your answer is wrong when in fact it's right, call them. Because if you forward that I got the right answer and they said it was wrong, but then the right answer they show is the same as mine, and you send that to me, I have to contact them anyway. So why don't we just eliminate a step and have you contact them directly? One way of finding out where that is also is if you go to single sign-on, and you got the portal, and here's my name. If I click on it, I can have settings, help, live tutoring. I've never even tried that. Live support, which I think is the same thing, or the link I gave you is this one. Go to the help screen, and down here is the phone number. And even down further is, let me see if I can do this. I can't because there's a box below where I'm showing, I'm sorry, I didn't make the screen big enough, that says Chat Now Live if you need some help. So there's plenty of support there if you want. What are we doing this week and next? If we go to week 6, here we go. We're doing chapter 10 and 11 in this week. Notice that these are blanked out, so they don't matter to you. You won't see them on your version of Canvas. I have video lectures for both. You have the Hawks Learning homework for chapters 10 and 11. And then we have a discussion on mergers and acquisitions. So this discussion involves some research and thinking on your part. The thinking part is not new to our discussions, but the research part should not be that much of a stretch. So we want to learn about the economies and diseconomies of scope and scale. Most economics textbooks will cover economies and diseconomies of scale, but not scope. And both kind of apply to mergers and acquisitions. So read about it on this link in Investopedia. There's more links there. If you were to click on it, it would show this. If you want to find economy of scope, core competencies, net marginal benefit, product line, mergers and acquisitions. There are things, there's a video you can watch on it. There's economy of scale and scope. So you can read about all of this here, and you can find other resources, which I hope you do. So you understand those concepts, and then you can begin to explore how it might apply to some mergers and acquisitions. So Abbott splits into Abbott and AbbVie. This happened a few years ago in Chicagoland. Why did they split? What were the advantages? What were the economies of scope that they were looking for, and the diseconomies of scale, I guess? Kraft splits into Kraft and Mondelez. Kraft has since been acquired by a private equity firm in Brazil, and Mondelez continues to operate as a publicly traded company. Hospira is acquired by Pfizer. Choose one of the above or select another one of your own choosing. Recently, those of you that might work at Swedish Covenant Hospital, it was recently acquired by North Shore. Why did they do that? You'll have to read up on the acquisitions. Next, for your first post, comment on how economies or diseconomies of scope and scale influence the merger or acquisition that you chose to study. Do this by Thursday or Friday of this week, and then comment on other people's. You probably want to find some other resources to help you. You want to read articles about these or whatever mergers you're looking at. So have some fun with it. Learn something, as I always say. And that's week 6, basically. Week 7 is chapters 12 and 13. We're talking about negative externalities and positive externalities. And we have, and public goods, which I'm going to put a video lecture up for that too. It's right here, actually. I didn't fix it. So here's me fixing it. Wow, you see behind the scenes, behind the curtains, how this works. And that's live. So you can watch the lectures or not watch the lectures. Just go right to Hawks Learning, whatever works for you. So you have the Hawks Learning assignments for chapters 10 and 12. And then we have a discussion on pollution externalities. Basically, do we do the carbon tax or do we do cap and trade? Or is there some other solution that you can think of? So post one, try to do this again by Thursday or Friday of the week, of week 7. Which would you suggest to try to control carbon emissions? Would you support a carbon tax or cap and trade or some other method or schema? I probably would use cap and trade, but don't answer it the way I would answer it, because I really want you to see what your thinking is and how you support your answer. You might want to find some other resources to help you, but I've provided this article from the Wall Street Journal, and it was a couple years ago. It was 2016 during the presidential election, but it really explains what all the things are. And, is a tax coming anytime soon, something in the air? There's plenty of reading here to do. And I think the first one, well, it explains what it is and explains what the carbon tax is. So enjoy reading it, and that will help you. And then comment on other students' posts. That's it. That's the end of the term. And hopefully you get all your work done. Notice when I'm talking about the homework, I said the due dates are flexible. But truly in week 6, if we look at that homework, it says, I'm looking at the wrong homework. That's the one that I'm not using. Let's look at the Hawks Learning homework. It says, no, there are no penalties for work submitted after the suggested due date. But realize the end of the course is rapidly approaching. So I would choose treat these due dates as fixed. Also, in the last one, it's flexible due date on the homework, but as it's the end of the quad, the due date is basically in stone. So you have to let me know if that's not acceptable for you and just try to get it done. And thank you very much. And hopefully I'll have another short little video for you next week, just as the end of the term. I believe the course evaluation is available. Please, I want to see what you have to say about that. There's been I know this class was supposed to be face-to-face, and it ended up being online, and that poses an issue. And then we've switched from Keats to the Keat book to the online book. Hopefully it all worked out, but be honest, I really take these things seriously. So appreciate it, and talk to you soon.